So here I am talking about the loaf, but it was easier to just do a voiceover. So this is the croissant loaf that I'm working with now, and I got a rolling pin. I'm flouring the surface so that the dough doesn't stick to it. And you don't have to have a rolling pin. You can just use a cup, like a drinking glass if you want, or you can just use your hands to flatten it out. But I enjoyed having a rolling pin. Now that I've done this loaf a few times, it does make it a lot easier. So I'm dumping out my dough onto the counter. Really lovely big old gal. And then getting my butter that's frozen in the freezer and my hand grater. And then I'm rolling out the loaf really thin all over the counter into a rectangle. And you want to just get it, I don't know, maybe like a 1/4 of an inch thick, as uniform as you can. So there she is. Not a perfect rectangle, but that's all right. Frozen stick of butter, the same one from the day before. And I'm doing one whole layer of grated butter on the loaf. Then I'm going to do the letter fold, where I fold the side over, like the left side over and then the right side over on top. Oh, delicious. I'm putting a little flour on top and just patting it. Now, there, I folded it over. I'm doing more butter on that fold. More flour and more pats, and then the second fold over. More butter. Measure with your heart. More flour and more pats. And then I'm turning it so you guys can see as I do the burrito roll towards the camera. And I'm just rolling and tucking it under, rolling and tucking it under, rolling and tucking it under. And it makes that nice roll. Putting a parchment paper into my loaf pan and dumping it in. And then I set that to the side for 2 hours. So that one rests in the bread loaf pan and bakes. Nothing special, nothing like no fancy Dutch oven stuff. And then I'm cleaning my area and have to prep the blueberry loaf next. I will be scoring the top of the croissant loaf soon, and I think I have that on camera, but it says to score it and then spray it with water. So I just really use the spray bottle that we use to spray our cat Steven when he gets on the counters. And that's what I use to spray the top of the croissant loaf after I score it. So here's the blueberry loaf. Clean the counter, parchment paper, dump out my loaf from the Bannatyne basket. This one was big. She was very spread out. It was a lot of dough, but it still ended up really delicious. I have no idea what I'm saying to you there, but I'm getting my bread lamb and scoring it. I just do a big cross. If I just want like a nice rustic loaf, that's what I do a lot, and then put flour on top. You can do all the fun designs. I kind of like the look of the rugged, just the cross, the X or whatever you want to call it. And every now and then I will try to do a cute little design too, but it's not my forte yet. I put it in the Dutch oven. The Dutch oven had been preheating in the oven for 500 degrees for an hour almost. It's super, super hot, so remember to use your mitts. And now you can see I'm scoring the croissant loaf, just one big expansion score to give it room to rise. And then I'm spraying it with my water bottle. All set. first part of the bake is done. Traditionally, you bake the sourdough loaf in the Dutch oven with the lid on for a while and then take the lid off and bake it again. So here I'm pulling it out for the second time. It looks really nice, deep golden brown. It was like a little bit darker than I would have hoped for, I guess, but it still turned out really good. And it wasn't burnt or anything like that. It was great on the inside. Taking it out of the Dutch oven is always tricky because the edges of the parchment paper get like torched so it's like 500 degrees, so they just get really crispy, and so sometimes it's tricky to pull it out of the oven, but I always manage. And as you can see, there's all my little pieces that got stuck to this loaf. I have never had that happen before. So I put it on the cooling rack. Most importantly, you want to let it cool for like an hour or an hour and a half so that it's fully cooled. That way it doesn't get gummy when you try to slice it. So now I'm covering up the croissant loaf and putting it in. It gets baked with the cover on for a little bit, and then you take the cover off. Oh, it's so nice and like has risen so much. And there you can see that's where I made the expansion score. Back in the oven. Oh, look, she's looking so good. Pulled her out, perfect. That loaf is primo, like such a treat. Slice. Ugh. So I let these loaves cool for about 2 hours before I sliced into them. Here's the blueberry loaf. Oh yeah. Voila.